Jim is always tired and can't sleep anymore. He works at a vegan company and after he comes home he always watches Netflix or plays video games to ruin his melatonin cycles. But he doesn't want to hear that. One day his favorite associate comes up to him and gives him the answer. A melatonin supplement. Jim, that guy is wearing a rainbow shirt and has these bloodshot eyes. You sure you want to trust him? Yep, of course. So Jim starts taking melatonin and can finally sleep again. 4 weeks later, and Jim is still taking melatonin. And his sleep issues are coming back. What a surprise. Of course, what does Jimmy do? He takes even more melatonin. Let's be careful here, Jimmy. 3 months later, and he can't sleep without it anymore because his own body doesn't produce it anymore. And 5 years later, Jimmy gets type 2 diabetes and macular degeneration at the age of 27 years. How's that even possible? What is so bad about melatonin? I mean, it's somewhat natural, your body produces this chemical and it doesn't give you the bad side effects that these sleeping drugs give you. See, we really have an insomnia and sleep issues pandemic. And most of the advice that you can find out there is not very helpful in those times when you have these issues. Melatonin is one of these things that is just not going to help you in the long run. And in general, you've got to ask yourself, why am I having all of these sleeping issues while other people can still sleep? Again, we have this pandemic, but there are some people that are able to sleep. So what's really causing your insomnia? When I think back to my times where I couldn't sleep, horrible. And to be honest, I had sleeping issues for so many years. But in those times, there was a specific time where it got really bad. And in this time, I actually had a melatonin supplement myself. But I didn't use it that much because I knew about something that's called the negative feedback loop. So the negative feedback loop is basically a system inside of you that shuts off your own production when you take something exogenously that you're supposed to produce endogenously. So meaning, if you, for example, it works with steroids, they have this negative feedback loop, and it also works with melatonin. So if you take melatonin that you're not supposed to get from food in large amounts or from your water, then you suddenly basically go inside of that system and your body thinks, oh wow, this gland is producing way too much melatonin. I need to give that gland the signal to shut that production down. Now you can even get melatonin from food, but that is a ridiculous discussion. So you don't need to look up the food's high in melatonin. It doesn't matter, such a low amount. And this is not how you're supposed to get melatonin. Melatonin is supposed to be produced by your own body, by you. You're not supposed to get it via food. And that's reason number one why you're not supposed to take melatonin. It's because you downregulate your own production. And you can even feel this if you take melatonin in the evening, then you fall asleep. Sometimes this doesn't even work, but you fall asleep and then you wake up 3, 4, 5 hours after that and you're not able to fall asleep anymore. That's because even just in that night, you downregulated your own production so much that you woke up again. And long term, this is even worse because you're downregulating your own production in the long run. This creates kind of tricky situations that are going to be harder to fix. So just stop taking it. That's actually just reason number one. We are going to go further. Getting back to the question, why can you not sleep anymore? There are two main reasons for that I see in every single one of my clients, and that's like they almost affect every single person on this planet right now. The one thing is called blue light toxicity, and the other one is called the voltage-gated calcium channel story. See, I'm gonna be honest, I don't watch other YouTubers or these sleep experts right now because you will definitely never hear about the voltage-gated calcium channel story from them. So I can't know if they kind of increase their game now and know a little bit more. But those are the two things that I really needed to hear a few years back, but I didn't hear about them. And by the way, sleeping issues, insomnia, they don't just pop up out of nowhere because you made one mistake. They're really a long series of a lot of mistakes over the years that you probably didn't even know about. And this is how you developed insomnia, sleeping issues. That's actually what links to the second big downside. It's called procrastination. It's the exact same reason why I tell a lot of people, or why I'm so much against coffee. Because coffee really makes you a health procrastinator. So if you've got fatigue and you don't drink coffee, then it will piss you off so much so that you're going to be able to, so that you will go into it and be like, I need to fix that. But if you keep drinking coffee, which by the way does not fix the problem, this is not a nutrient or something, it actually makes this issue worse in the long run because you procrastinate your health. Same thing is true for melatonin and sleep. Melatonin is a hormone deeply involved in your circadian rhythm. This is the 24-hour cycle that we are supposed to go through, sort of your biorhythm. If you now can't sleep anymore, then this tells me in 99% of the cases that you have a broken circadian rhythm, also called circadian dysfunction. This is what all kids nowadays have, and then their parents give them melatonin. Why do you not produce enough melatonin anymore? Because you're blue light toxic, because you're always in front of a screen and never go outside. Guess what you're doing when you take melatonin? This is equal to you just opening up your phone right now or your computer so that you're able to see the main board and the CPU, and then you want to open a specific URL in the web browser, but not by typing it into the keyboard, but actually by applying a small current to a very specific connection there. Like what? And in fact, melatonin long-term supplementation is very bad news for your circadian rhythm. And that means disease in the long run. And guess what? If you need to take melatonin, as I said before, it already tells you your circadian rhythm is already broken. And you're breaking it further. You're speeding up the disease process. Last thing is a problem that's a problem with many supplements. And that is deuterium. Deuterium is heavy hydrogen. It's just a specific isotope of hydrogen. So note, same atom, but it's actually not the same. In most molecules, including melatonin, there's a lot of hydrogen. Now your body makes melatonin from tryptophan and makes sure it's low in deuterium. And so let me ask you something. Do you think that those supplements companies out there pay attention to a low deuterium content when they make melatonin? I don't think so. And so the same molecule can actually not be the same and have different effects inside of your body that we don't really know about. So how do you fix this issue? You want to block blue light, especially in the evening. And now listen closely. You want to get one of these blue blocking glasses and make sure they actually block blue light. Those $20 Amazon blue blockers, they in most cases, they don't block the entire blue spectrum that you need to block. I've made first-hand experience with that, so maybe you don't want to make the same mistake that I've made. But see, when most people nowadays hear that about blue light, they're like, yeah, I got the app on my phone, and also I've got F-Lux on my screen, on my PC. I'm like, no, it's about your goddamn light that you turn on. When you brush your teeth, that's LED light. It has blue light in them and ruins your circadian rhythm. So of course, yes, your phone, this is all a big part of this because it makes you stay up longer as well. But see, this is not where the story ends. It even goes further to the lights that are coming from the outside. They ruin your circadian rhythm, and this is why you've got circadian dysfunction. Moreover, you want to learn about something called the voltage-gated calcium channel story. I'll leave a link in the description. And if you need further help on this topic, kind of depends on how far you're gone, you might want to consider reaching out to me. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.